Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Pop Culture Crisis is bringing you another pop culture conspiracy video over the holidays to keep you entertained. And this one is about one of the many lies of the Kardashian family. It's a question about the true paternity of Khloe Kardashian, the youngest Kardashian sister. Are you ready to get into it, Brett?
Oh yeah. This is funny because I'm someone who I lived through the OJ trial. I was young enough to listen to Chris Rock satirize and talk about the OJ trial, which was going on, in the mid '90s. So when you floated this conspiracy to me, it makes sense. So the conspiracy is that OJ Simpson is the father of Khloe Kardashian, right?
He could be, according to many internet sleuths, yeah. It is a known fact that Kris Jenner was unfaithful to Rob Kardashian at a later point in their marriage. That's already confirmed, but the theory is either O.J. Simpson is Khloe's real father or simply that Rob Kardashian is not her father. And I think that there are many pieces of evidence that point to this.
And OJ's gone back and forth on this, right?
Yeah.
He started one way and then he went the other way.
Yeah, so at first it seemed like he was leaning toward, I might be Khloe's father, according to an anonymous insider. But then later on, when he made his debut on Twitter, he totally denied the allegations. So, and it's not the first allegation he's denied. So this all started getting a lot of chatter in the early 2010s. That's around the time when Keeping Up with the Kardashians turned into this gigantic phenomenon. And
the first article that you showed from this is from 2012. So this is like this is over a decade ago now.
Yes, yeah. And a lot of people have thought this for a long time. And you would think, with the Kardashian family being such a litigious family, that they would sue someone to oblivion for a defamation as serious as this. But it turns out that Rob Kardashian's second wife, from after his divorce with Kris Jenner, has herself come out and spoken out and said, Rob Kardashian told me himself that Khloe is not his biological daughter.
Her name's Jan Ashley.
Yes, Jan Ashley in 2012 talked to Star magazine, I believe,
which might strain the realm of credibility just a little bit. I'm just saying.
We're just reporting what she said.
Exactly.
She said, Khloe is not his kid. He told me that after we got married. He just kind of looked at me and said it like it was a matter of fact. He said, well, Khloe's not really a Kardashian, don't you? And I said, okay, and that was it. And then Rob Kardashian's third wife, who is his widow, Ellen Kardashian, said Khloe brought it up all the time. She looked nothing like the rest. She was tall, had a different shape, light hair, curly hair, didn't look anything like the other three children. Robert did question the fact that Khloe was his. Any normal man would if they knew their wife had cheated on him. And the Kardashian family has always framed this as some ridiculous lie. But if it were a lie, why wouldn't they have sought legal action to correct the record, as they always do?
You would think Kris Jenner would want to stamp this out right away.
It's a bad look for her. It's a bad look for the whole family, isn't it?
She's never been shy about making sure that the family's reputation stays, maybe not intact, because that's a very subjective definition, but it goes the direction she wants it to go, just like their careers.
They're referencing all of these obvious ways that Khloe does not resemble her sisters as much. So she never had this widow's peak, which is a dominant trait in their family. Kourtney still has it. Kim had it, but she lasered it off. Khloe never had it. So that was always...
Wait, how do you laser off a widow's peak?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
She just wanted to get rid of it, so she got rid of it. But Khloe notably never had it. She's also obviously much taller than the other two. Those two are more petite framed, and she's always been way taller.
But close to the size of her mom.
If you look at these childhood photos of them, Khloe just has a different face, and she has this curly hair that would suggest she might be half black. So they've denied it all the time. They deny it and say it's a ridiculous lie. But OJ might have been convinced of it at one time when an anonymous insider spoke to the National Enquirer in 2012.
Straining the bounds of credibility. We understand.
I know.
We know.
They said OJ had just realized Khloe Kardashian is his biological daughter. Quote, OJ believes Khloe is his natural-born daughter through his affair with Kris Jenner when she was married to his buddy, Robert Kardashian.
Who helped him get off murder charges.
Yes, and he wants to do something about it. So allegedly, he went and changed his will to give Khloe part of his inheritance.
Imagine being his kids and and being like, look, this lady's got money. She does not need your money.
I mean, I see why Khloe would want nothing to do with OJ Simpson, obviously, if this is her biological father. But even if OJ isn't the man who's her biological father, it just is painful, obviously, to acknowledge the fact that you're not full siblings with your two sisters and the whole world believes that you are.
Which became a storyline on the show.
Yes,
right?
it did. Yeah, back in like 2019, they did this whole episode on Keeping Up where they decided to get the genetic testing done. And they do this. Khloe has always had these questions about where is she really from. People have always made these remarks about how different she looks, but they deliver her the package with the genetic results. And she just declined to look at the results and said, you know what, it doesn't matter. I just feel like I'm part of this family, so the results don't even matter to me. And that just is suspicious, is all I'll say.
Like if it was an issue of like the father or of the mother, that's different, right? Because then it's like for this, it's like I'm thinking like if she's not able to, like what if she wasn't part of the family at all? What if they find out she's adopted, but she's very clearly her mother?
No, she is
daughter,
definitively Kris Jenner's daughter, but the only question is who's the father?
Yeah.
And she declined to find out who it was. And then they did this episode where they take 23andMe tests to see their nationality. And she reads off these results that are not shown on camera, saying that she is of a half Middle Eastern descent, as in they are part Armenian.
I mean, if they wanted to fake that, they could fake that shit.
They could fake it so easily. They did not show the results on camera. And she, her voice kind of trails off when she reads it out. And they joke about how like, oh, if you weren't part Armenian, this would cause some big problems for us. So they did address it, but they just wanted to put it to rest. It was a big PR move in my opinion. So then OJ, he decided to get on social media in 2019.
Which was, as an aside, like seeing OJ Simpson join social media was a very surreal thing.
Should not have ever happened.
To this day, there's these stories that go around on like the New York Post where it says like, OJ Simpson says he doesn't like going to LA because he might run into the person who killed his wife because he's shameless.
Yeah.
So you understand why he at least played into it a little bit when this came out, because it said the initial report wasn't from him directly; it was from an anonymous source, which gives him an out either way to be like either it's true or it's not true. And he later came down on the side of she's not my kid.
Yeah. So let's look at this video of OJ Simpson from 2019. It says, the first thing I want to set straight is this story. Pardo, who was not my manager, is talking about it all over the media regarding me and Kris Jenner. So here he wholly denies the allegations.
Hello, Twitter world. This is yours truly. This is my first venture into the social media world, and it's amazing. Especially how quickly they can put up counterfeit sites.
Well, he's a
Anyway,
boomer.
we'll deal with that. My life has always been involved in the sports world, and I suspect as the weeks goes on, that's pretty much what we'll be talking about. But once in a while, I'm going to go off topic and talk about something else, and this is one of those times. Bob Kardashian, he's like a brother to me. He's a great guy. He met and married Kris, and they really had a terrific time together when they were together. Unfortunately, that ended. But never, and I want to stress, never in any way, shape, or form had I ever had any interest in Kris. romantically or sexually, and I never got any indication that she had any interest in me. So all of these stories are just bogus, bad, tasteless. Khloe, like all the girls I'm very proud of, just like I know Bob would be if he was here, but the simple facts of the matter is she's not mine. Now, one of the people who's spreading this rumor is a guy that the media loves to say is my manager. I had one manager in my whole life, Chuck Barnes, when I came out of USC for 3 years. Unfortunately, he died about 45 years ago, but even before he died, I opened my own office with the help of Skip Taft, my lawyer, my two assistants, Marilyn O'Brien, the late Marilyn O'Brien, and Kathy Randa. And I've always managed my own affairs, and I like to think very successfully. So when you see these guys like Norm and these guys claim that they're my manager, it's just not true. I may have done a deal here or there with them, but none of these guys have ever was anything remotely like a manager for me. In any event, that's it for today.
So there you have it.
They have him around for family dinner.
Yeah, and then in 2022, he felt the need to address this question once again when he appeared on the Full Send podcast and simply said, "The rumor ain't true. It's not even anywhere close to being true." And he says that Kris Jenner just didn't fit his type of woman at the time.
He was dating supermodels.
He said people have their types, right? I always thought Kris was a cute girl. She was really nice, but I was dating supermodels. So, of course, it's impossible that he is the father of Khloe Kardashian because Kris just wasn't his type. She wasn't really the supermodel type. So it couldn't have happened.
Both a denial and a humble brag at the same time.
Right? Yeah.
I like it. Good for him.
And Kris can't even say anything if it is true.
Yep.
Because that would out her.
Yep.
So I think that's all there is to say.
No, here's the thing. What's funny about this is I think we have such short attention spans today. Like we move from one story to the next story. It's something that I was talking about when I was doing this video on the new South Park thing that came out. It's like, look, we're in this weird bubble now because of the internet where like you're just fed information 24/7. You're just constantly being assaulted by it. But there are, just like our video that came out yesterday about Katy Perry and John Benet Ramsey, there are certain stories, and it seems like it was more prevalent back before the era of the cell phone, right? There are certain stories that carried such weight for the culture that they can influence even more. Yesterday, it was the murder of John Benet Ramsey has this offshoot of crazy conspiracies like that Katy Perry is her or that John Benet Ramsey is AI. Well, O.J. Simpson is part of a similar trend, right? He was part of a case that was such a huge part of American culture that it ends up in Kardashian reality shows 20 years later. And you wonder, like, how is the world, are we any better off now where it seems like we're constantly fed just bad news and crazy stories all the time? Like maybe we were better off in a time period where you only had so many bad stories to go around and those led to their own offshoots.
Well, the fame and success of the Kardashian family can simply be owed to a long string of lies about who they are, what they look like. I mean, if you started off with Rob Kardashian getting OJ acquitted for that murder trial, that's the first lie, that he was innocent. Here's the second lie, is that Kim's sex tape was something that was published against her will, when later we found out from Ray J himself that this whole thing was coordinated with him and Kris Jenner, and that they calculated how to put this out into the public to make Kim more famous, which then led to the beginning of their reality show, and their reality show became a social media phenomenon, and then they started selling products, and now they are a permanent fixture in Hollywood. Despite having really no talent and nothing remarkable about them, they have made their platform and their pedestal off of lies, and I would argue this is one of the most obvious lies.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.